267 days ago, when I entered Romade as an 8th grader, I expected an experience that would ultimately end in the burning of report cards, shredding of graded homework, projects and tests, and cramming of my entire science notebook into a 3x5 note card in one night. But apart from that last expectation, I was terribly mistaken. In fact, 8th grade for me was much more than that. It was about beginning to transition into high school, learning new material, and more. But most importantly, 8th grade was about stepping up and accomplishing. Let's take a look back to the beginning of the year in August. I walked into school, I was an 8th grader, and I was on a new team. Yet I was the same old person I was at the end of 7th grade. Mostly quiet, nervous, sits in the back of the room and avoids talking to anyone apart from the few friends, in addition to never raising their hand kind of person. And in many ways, I still am that person. But at the end of the day, the question I always ask is, am I still that person, or am I becoming less of that person? And my answer is the latter. So looking back to the beginning of the year, I was that quiet and shy kid. But soon I realized that in middle school and high school, in life, you need to grow out of that shell, and the only way you can do so is by stepping up yourself and accomplishing new things far beyond anyone's expectations. And I decided that I didn't want to leave middle school by being the same person I came in as. I wanted to leave middle school being someone better than before, and this year was all about making that happen. First and foremost, perhaps the most important way of stepping up and accomplishing was by making more connections and simply being more social. When I came into 8th grade, there were the social kids, there were the somewhat social kids, and then in a galaxy far, far away, there was me. But with all of the group projects and assignments that began to pile on as the year went by, not being at least somewhat social seemed impossible. I figured the only way to get around it was by getting through it. There was Exploravision, National History Day, We the People, science projects, propaganda project, and so much more, whether it was a big project or a little one, that I began making more connections with more people. If I hadn't made an effort to work in teams and build connections with others, I wouldn't be talking to the same people I talk to every day in class, and I wouldn't know quite as many people as I do now. I feel out of all of the ways I stood up this year, this is one of the most important. To reach out of your social circle and to work with people you've never worked with before. Because to me, success only exists if others are there to succeed with you. On the other hand, a large portion of my stepping up and accomplishing was by beginning to speak up. Even when I was in kindergarten, I wasn't really ever much of a talker. Yes, very shocking. I came into kindergarten barely knowing the alphabet and even took bilingual classes. But what's remarkable, at least to me, is that I went from this to this. And I think this really is the best representation of my 8th grade year of stepping up and accomplishing. Because joining the debate team was definitely one of the best choices I've made as an 8th grader and as a student. By stepping up and putting myself out there, I not only became a better speaker and a thinker, I again worked with people I wouldn't have ever worked with if I hadn't joined debate, and I accomplished a lot more than I or anyone else thought I would. Voluntarily taking debate was one accomplishment, but actually doing decent in it and actually looking forward to it every day was a real accomplishment. 8 years ago, or even last year, I wouldn't see myself getting 6th best speaker out of 90 different debaters around the state, and I wouldn't see myself writing pages after pages of debate notes until midnight just because I wanted to talk in class the next day. But even though I still don't always raise my hand in class or talk the most during class discussions, I think that the progress I've made truly is more significant. A lot of my growing over the years has really been by stepping out of my comfort zone and opening new doors, and I think that 8th grade really has gone to prove this. In the future, wherever I might happen to end up, I won't be the mostly quiet person. I'll be the mostly quiet person who knows they've made progress. The time during middle and high school is when most of us become insecure about everything and try to be ourselves. But over the year, I've learned that you can also at least try and become someone better and improved. And over the year, that's been my goal, to be a better person, to be a louder person, and to be a person who can stand up and accomplish. And that was my 8th grade year.